Good morning from bright and sunny Seattle. Did you know that in the summer, like this whole entire Seattle area, it just doesn't rain. It's just beautiful sunshine. And the reason I bring it up is because on these videos, I do like talking about things that make me sad. And this, like all this, definitely does. Oh, about to get to that really pretty bridge again. This part, going into Seattle, never gets old for me. So pretty. I'm back at Rainier BBQ. I was here, I think my first time filming in Seattle. I came to this place. They have this ginormous catfish, like 5-pound catfish. So today I woke up, I'm like, I kind of want some seafood, like a lot of seafood. So instantly thought of this place. Also, their beef salad is really good too. Anthony Bourdain was here. All right, I gotta get my baby back home. Her crispiness is on the line. Actually, really quick pit stop. Since we're in this area, there's a lot of great Vietnamese food, and there's this chip place. I love Vietnamese yogurt in their coconut jelly. Oh my God, when that chili fell out of my hand, it was like, you know, like in dramatic moments of your life, things kind of started happening in a dreamlike, slow motion fashion. That's what I felt like. I felt like my heart hitting the floor and shattering. But they were really nice about it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Rainbow Jet. If you never had one of these things before, you need to find a place that sells them and get one. It's just like a mix between different types of fruits and nuts and syrup and jellies. Look how colorful it is. And it was amazing. Love the coconut milk so much. This is the first thing I'm putting in my stomach today. I can't come around this area without heading to that place and getting one of these. This looks like a good second breakfast. Oh, one more thing. I can have fish without chips. Fish and chips. Yuzu shrimp chips. I love these. Also, these little guys, come here. They've been sitting behind me for a few months now, but finally, the new merch store is ready, stocked full of plushies. There you go. Dumpling slippers. There you go. Anyway, check out the new store. The link is in my description box below. Honestly, I've been thinking about this fish since the last time I was in Seattle. Obviously, it's not gonna be as crispy as if you just get it from the restaurant and they bring it to you right out the fryer, but really can't help that. Still juicy as ever. That looks so incredibly succulent. Oh no. Perfect. Moist, soft, juicy meat. And the skin, again, if you just get it from the restaurant and they bring it right out to you, this skin is like a chip. But now, unfortunately, not as much, but still. Still has a little crunchiness. These rice wrappers are my favorite food huggers. If I was a food item, I'd want to be inside one of these things. Add some veg, basils, mint, little onions, carrot, cucumber, some noodles. And some people, they're really proficient at this. They make it look really nice and tight and glorious looking. Like for me, I'm a little greedy, so whenever I try to wrap food, I try to wrap the most amount of ingredients I can inside one little rice wrapper. So this is mine with ingredients just leaking out on either side. Finally, fish in the fish sauce. If you feel like this step is redundant, then you will be wrong. I made a mistake. I should have put this sauce in the roll first and dunked it into the fish sauce. But trust me, everything in life, if you want to make it better, you could either dunk it in hot oil or dunk it in fish sauce. Not only is the flavor incredibly rich. You get all the different aroma from the mint, from the basil, so much fresh aroma with the tender fish and the crunch of the vegetables. Beauty, color, texture, flavor, aroma, whatever you want. I got it right here. This is like the Target, Nate, the Target of all foods. It's got everything. You want aroma, taste a bite of anything in front of me and your nose will be bombarded. Vietnamese food, one of the reasons I love it so much, it's able to strike a balance between something incredibly fresh and light and so much flavor. And that has a lot to do with this fish sauce right here. Now, if you invite hot oil to the party and get a little cross-cultural action going, I think that might even be better. Add some hot oil to this. What I love about this is that it's so dang customizable. This really just makes me miss my time back in Vietnam where everything is so delicious, but so healthy too. It's the only Asian country you can go to. Like whatever you're eating, they always bring you out a batch of fresh herbs and vegetables. And the food is just so incredibly tasty. All right, this thing is completely falling apart. Get a backup rice roll here to kind of help it along. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was trying to be neater this time. I really was. I was trying to be more this just shows I really don't have a delicate touch. That's really not my thing. My thing is just aggressive seasoning, aggressive rolling, and just basically no finesse whatsoever. Such a fail. At the same time though, sorry, but not sorry. Oh, hot oil with this is amazing. Seriously. Oh God, I've actually never had this dish with hot oil before. Because every time I go to a Vietnamese restaurant, you'll find sriracha, but usually you don't find hot oil. Oh, hot oil with this. If there were such thing as a person who's too beautiful or a car that's too fast, then this would be too delicious. I mean, is there such a thing? Also, when you go to this place, we gotta get the beef salad. Must try. Oh, that beef is so tender. All right, we haven't done one of these in like a month, so let's get to a scary story time. So this time we're gonna have a combination of urban legends and story submissions. Like, watch till the end. The story I'll tell you that someone submitted, almost couldn't sleep at night. Okay, let's get to the first one. So this one happened in my hometown. Well, I really don't have a hometown because I kind of moved around everywhere. So I lived in this city called Quincy, Illinois for about 6 years of my life, which is a big part of my life. And that's where my parents' restaurant was. Anyway, when I moved there, this was the time when I was really interested. I mean, I still am now, but that was the time I was really like even digging up like haunted places and trying to go to haunted locations. And by the way, the house I lived in Quincy, Illinois, freakiest thing ever. Nothing supernatural, but just like really creepy old building. I heard it's getting demolished. I'm really sad about that. But anyways, there's this house in Quincy, Illinois known as Devil's House. And I really couldn't find much information about it nowadays. I don't know why, but when I was living in Quincy, I read up about it. And this is the story I heard. And this is why this place is one of the most haunted places in the town. Anyway, the story I heard was that there was a family living in the house, 2 kids, mom and dad. And one day the dad was off to work and the kids were playing downstairs and the mom was upstairs doing whatever she's doing. And it was a cold winter's day. But when she came down to check on her kids, she noticed that the front door was open. So then she asked her kids, why did you guys open the door? And the kids didn't really pay much attention to it. They just kept on playing. All they said was, a man came downstairs and opened the door. At that point, the mom kind of freaked out because she was like, oh my God, did someone break into my house? But she was upstairs the whole time. So she's thinking, okay, there's no way there was someone upstairs. The kids must be lying. So then she asked the kids again, tell me the truth. Did you two open the door? And the kids said again, no, we did not open the door. A man came downstairs and he opened the door. So finally the mom said, okay, what did the man look like? And the kids said, well, he had a hat on and his legs were that of a goat. At that point, the mom was furious. She can't believe that these kids would make up such a horrible story to tell her. Right away, she gave both of these kids a big spanking. Even while the kids are crying, she's asking them, tell me the truth, who opened the door? And while the kids are crying, they still said, it was a man who came downstairs, he opened the door. And no matter how hard the mom spanked the kids, that's the story they stuck to. After she spanked the kids, the mom closed her door and went back upstairs. Half an hour later, she came down again. Again, the front door was open. And the kids now, they weren't playing anymore. They were in a corner sobbing. The mom was furious. She ran to the kids and again asked them, why did they open the door? The kids, mid-sob, again said, it wasn't us. It was a man in a hat and he had goat legs, and he opened the door and walked out. Again, the mother didn't believe a word the kids were saying, so she said, okay, wait till your dad gets home. You guys can get an even bigger whooping. So then she went to close the door. But this time, before she closed the door, she looked outside. And in the fresh snow that just fell that day, she saw footprints leading away and coming back to the house. But instead of footprints, they were more like hoof prints, like that a goat would make if it was walking right side up and on two legs. True story. Devil's House, Quincy, Illinois. By the way, I gave up making a roll out of this stuff. I'm just making a taco now. At this point, my entire mission is just to get this in my stomach. I'm almost half done with this catfish, by the way. You can't see it because of all the shrubs, but honestly, 5 pounds, easily done. This next story is an urban legend that happened in Malaysia. So the story goes, there was a taxi driver. It was beginning to be the end of his shift, so it was getting kind of late at night, and he was about to turn off his light and go home. But as he was driving through a busy intersection, he saw a beautiful girl waving him down. So he thought, you know what, it's late, I really don't feel good about her going home alone, so let me just do one last fare, get her home, and then I'm off for the night. So he pulls up to her, and he could see it was a beautiful girl with fair complexions and long flowing black hair. She got into the cab, and he asked her where she wanted to go, so she gave him an address. And this address didn't really come up on the GPS, so he said to her, he said, well, I can get to that part of town, but then when we get there, can you just direct me the rest of the way? To which she nodded her head. So as he was driving, he was trying to make casual conversation, but the girl really just nodded or shook her head to the questions he was asking her. And this continued to be the case when the driver was asking her directions to where she lived. So finally, she pointed him down to this long, dark road. And he's never been in this area before. He never even knew that this area was habited. So he kept driving down the road, and the longer he drove, the more nervous he got. And he was overcome with a terrifying feeling, something he's never felt before in his life. There was no longer any lights on this road. The only thing he could see is whatever his headlights were showing in front of him. And finally, he paused next to a gate. As the girl got out, she handed him a wad of money. He couldn't really see what was inside the gate, but again, he was so overcome with this terrifying feeling. As he stopped the car, he thought something horrible was gonna happen to him, but nothing did. The girl handed him her money. She got out, said her thank yous, opened up the gate, and walked inside. But the driver was still so nervous. He took the money, shoved it into his glove compartment, turned around the car, and just took off down the road. Finally, after a few miles, he started to see other people, street light, and he was so relieved when he finally pulled up to his house. That night, went to bed, got a good night's sleep, and he woke up so curious as to where exactly did he drop the girl off at. So in the morning, he retraced the route that he took the night before. He drove to the road, drove down until he got to the metal gate. When he got out of the car and peered over the gate was when he realized why he was so afraid the night before. Because the gate was the entrance to a vast cemetery. So he quickly got into his car and drove back down the road. On the way home, he stopped by a newspaper stand and just grabbed the paper, just like he would every other day. And then he pulled his cab over to just read the paper and just calm himself. All of a sudden, he saw a picture in the paper. It was the same beautiful girl that he picked up from the night before. And it said that she was the victim of a hit and run last night, and the location of the hit and run was the exact intersection where he picked her up. And then all of a sudden, he remembered about the money she gave him. So he quickly reached into his glove compartment, pulled out the money that she gave him, and what he held in his hand were a wad of hell notes, the type that families would burn for their loved ones so they have money to spend in the afterlife. I mean, personally, I don't know why the cab driver didn't know she was a ghost, because you can usually see right through them. It's gonna eat my fish now. If you are ever in a similar situation, you're taking someone home, especially if you're a cab driver, this tip may save your life. And it's so simple. Just check and see if the person is trying to take you to the dead part of town. Scary stories make me hungry. Final story. Sent in by someone who wants to remain anonymous. So I have no idea if this is real or not, but they claim it is, and it happened to them. So the person who wrote in said that when she was in 2nd grade, she was having a lot of stomach issues. She was vomiting all the time. She was having a lot of stomach aches, constantly feeling nauseous. So the first couple times that her family took her to the hospital, the doctors really didn't think anything of it. They just said that it was maybe a stomach bug or something, that it's gonna be okay. But the 3rd time they took her to the hospital, the doctor said that it was actually a super bug. and it has caused so much damage in her stomach that it was unlikely that she would live. So she was declared actively dying and was sent home with her family to just basically enjoy her last time together with them. And her mom, who was a nurse, took time off to stay home and take care of her. Now, a few days before she went into the hospital and got this horrible diagnosis, she started having these dreams, and she would dream that she was back in her old neighborhoods and just playing with all of her friends. But the only difference that she noticed was that the sky, instead of being blue, was light purple. And in the dream, she apparently had a sister, a twin sister, who she told her was called Key. And even though they were twins, the girl who was having this dream, she looks like her mother with blonde hair and green eyes, but Key looks like their father with long brown hair and dark brown eyes that seem almost completely black. And in a dream, Key would often just sit there and watch the other kids play with a strange smile on her face. And also in the dream, she was this girl's best friend, her confidant, the sister she always wished she had. But at the same time, Key terrified her because on a whim, she could be having the best day with a smile on her face and all of a sudden just turn completely angry and terrifying. And this was especially true every single time that this girl would tell Key that she has to wake up. So the day that this girl got her diagnosis, she went home and fell asleep right away because she was so tired, and right away dreamed of Key in the old neighborhood. So she tearfully told Key in her dream that she was dying. But when Key received this news, she was so overjoyed and happy and said that finally we can be together forever. But then the girl told Key that no, I don't belong here. I belong with my parents, my family. They're gonna be so sad without me. Upon hearing this, Key was livid, screaming at the girl, saying that she should be staying with her because in this world, everything is perfect. She had friends, she had family, everyone liked her. This was the perfect world for her. But when the girl said that this world isn't real and she couldn't stay, all of a sudden, Key had a different suggestion and said that the girl could actually take her with her out into the real world. So the girl in the dream asked Key how they could make this happen. So Key said that she needed time to get stronger. And as time passed, the girl grew weaker and sicker and sicker. And in her dreams, Key kept getting stronger and stronger to the point where even when the girl was awake, she swears she could see Key out of the corner of her eye just hiding around the corner. Finally, one night when the girl fell asleep, she dreamed of Key again. And Key said, "It's time, so take my hand." So the girl took her hand and Key said to repeat after her. Now the girl did not remember what they said or chanted, but she did wake up right away. And for the first time in months, she wasn't immediately sick. And gradually after that, she started getting better and better. After that, she never really dreamed of Key again and she started to lead a normal life. And years passed where she didn't feel sick and didn't dream of Key until this year. It happened one day after work because the girl has asthma and because we all have to wear a mask, though she wasn't able to breathe very properly when she was at work. So she came home, grabbed her inhaler, lay down in bed and drifted off to sleep. As soon as she fell asleep, she was back in that same neighborhood again with the purple sky, and Key was there. She was standing in the now abandoned playground. Her eyes now are completely black, and she has grown up too. She reached out her hand for the girl and told her how happy she was to see her again and how that she has never left her side. She said that every time the girl fell ill or every time there was a loss in the girl's life, she was there with her. And although the words sounded like it was very loving and supportive, there's something really sinister behind it. Almost like she had a hand in all the illnesses and all the misfortunes and bad things and the losses that the girl experienced in her life. Finally, Key said to the girl that she had finally finished the spell and is ready. So Key reached out for the girl's hand. But the girl is grown up now, she's more mature, she's probably seen many episodes of Supernatural, told Key that she knew who she was and she would not make a deal with her. When she heard this, Key was furious. She screamed at her and it sounded like every single person that this girl knew in her life, like her father and mother, all the voice combined into one, asking her to take her with her. But the girl wouldn't do it. And just as quickly as she had gotten mad, Key calmed down really quickly and said in a very quiet voice that she would try the next one then. That's when the girl woke up and she really didn't understand exactly what Key meant by the next one. But the girl knew that when she has kids, she's gonna do everything she can, salt, sulfur, whatever it takes to protect her kids, just in case Auntie Key wants to visit. I thought my cabin in the woods, hearing kids sing, was terrifying. But reading through some of you guys' stories to me, a lot of you guys need to go and jump in a bath of sage or something. I've read at least like 3-4 emails with these crazy little girl best friends that follow you around. Y'all need to go and call Ghost Child Services or whoever. But anyway, thank you all so much for submitting the stories. If you have a scary story to submit, please don't message me on Instagram about this. There's no way I can read through all that. Send it to storyformikey@gmail.com. Storyformikey@gmail.com. Really appreciate it. You guys give me a lot of sleepless nights shifting through these stories. And I enjoyed them. I hope you all enjoyed this edition of Scary Story Time. Thank you so much for watching. If you're about to go to bed, good luck. And tell Key I said hi.